Hello, it's the Christmas season. Although it doesn't look like it, but that's just Michigan for you. It snows in March, but won't snow in December. But anyway, because it's the Christmas season, I wanted to do a very special type of video, a Christmas special. But what am I doing it about? Well, only the best thing ever, the most Christmassy thing, shitty Disney games. This holiday can't get any worse. You know, there's 104 days of stupidity, but school does come around just to end that. But a problem that we have is finding a good way to spend these stupidity days. And the best way to do that is by reviewing shitty Disney games. Introducing Phineas and Ferb, the DS game. In 2009, there were 2 Phineas and Ferb games released. What you'd think, oh, so you're gonna review 2 games? Oh, that's cool, more content. You'd be wrong, they're the same damn game. When I mean they're the same game, I mean they're the same game. They're related to the show, they follow the same plot, they are basically the same game. And honestly, there's so many better ways you could spend your time. Honestly, you could just pay for a subscription for Disney Plus, you know, give the greedy company, the monopoly, totally not a monopoly, some more money, and you could just binge the whole stupid show. Or just wait till they make another movie, because it's like SpongeBob. They'll never kill it. Even when the voice actors die, they'll just replace them. Well, maybe if we read the manual of this game, we'll understand it a little bit better. It says that if you are playing this game, you are dumb and wasting your life. Well, I think that about sums this up. Now, each world is different, is based off a certain episode, and the first game and the second game have 4 episodes each, between 4 worlds. Now, the first game has the coolest coaster ever. I mean, but you could go to Cedar Point, you know. And then it follows through the different episodes and stuff, which is kind of neat, kind of not, you know, whatever. Anyway, I don't know why I reviewed these. They're not that bad, 7 out of 10 at best. And I think it's time we go somewhere with this little bit more not burnt Christmas tree, because it would be kind of nice to have a Christmas aspect to a Christmas special. Finally, somewhere warm and a little bit more Christmassy and less burnt plastic. Anyway, do you remember when a rusty tow truck and a race car traveled around the world? Me neither, but Disney sure did. So much so, they made a game for it on the 7th generation consoles and the DS, because, you know, money. This game actually starts out pretty damn good, only to find out it's a simulation. Gameplay can be so bad in this game that it's broken at times. And I thought Sonic 06 was bad. At least Cars 2 on the 3DS and DS is actually pretty damn good. It's based off the movie. Well, at least this game is overall, you know, actually pretty terrible. DLC is not bad, but, you know, if you're on a Wii, you suck. Now, Cars 2 is such a bad game that I don't think it deserves to exist anymore. So, we're gonna have a little fun with it and light it on fire. Although, I don't have the actual game on hand, so we're gonna use this DVD instead. I don't think you're missing that much. This might burn a little bit faster.
This just isn't working. There we go.
Man, that thing sure burned pretty good. So, Cars 1, it's a movie. If I had to describe it in one word, how would I describe it? Drugs. This movie was very popular with people when it first came out, which is very weird, but it kind of makes sense. People really do like drugs. But what if I told you that they took the drug movie and made an even worse game out of it? For the DS. This movie came out on June 5th, 2006, and it is a very wonderful game. So many great features, like, the case opens, and you can eat this. It tastes very good. So you're probably expecting this to be some kind of racing game, like a knockoff Mario Kart. But what if I told you that this was just some normal minigames, some bad minigames at that, with cars chucked over them? Now, this game is not terrible. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, because at least there's some sort of content to watch while you're in the back of Mom's minivan. but it is not that great. And it's really weird because you're like, oh yeah, racing game. And then you open it, it's like, shit. This just feels lazy because this is just a bunch of generic mini games with stupid twist and cars splashed on top of it. Not very great. And there's not even any saving piece. This looks great. In fact, the gameplay looks like shit. Like, I get it. DS games don't look good. I know that DS is the definition of shitty games. This just looks bad. Everything looks creepy, bad, and not very good. I've seen better DS games. In fact, I think I've seen Air that looks better than this. Now, before I rant on it too much, let's just talk about the games. Now, in this game, you need to watch the stoplight and hit the colors it says all while it's swinging. Now, you would think, oh, so this is just a match the color game. Nope, you'd be wrong, because this game does not follow any of the normal rules of a match the color game, because it's weird, because it swings, and you have to deal with two sides, and it doesn't keep the same pattern. Every time, it's a new pattern, which is weird, because most of the time, it's the same pattern, just getting more difficult and more difficult, until you suck and lose. But this one does not do that. It changes every single time and defeats the whole purpose. Now, I will admit, the use of the two screens is very clever, and I kind of like it. But overall, this game is very boring, very repetitive, and I really don't like it, because it tries to add a unique twist all while not following the normal rules. Maybe if it did that, it'd be a bit better, but this game is not worth your time to play. And I'm very mad. 5 out of 10. Now, game 2. In this game, you need to clean the cars that come into the gas station. In this game, you need to look at the map on the top screen and see where the cars are, and then using your stylus, you need to rub them clean on the bottom screen. Now, while it is kind of cool how they use both screens, we'll get to that. Anyway, you use the trackpad to go back and forth. Now, why this game is better than the last one, I could not see myself playing this more than a couple times per year. If I ever play this thing again, this honestly deserves to go in the trash. This game gets hard really, really fast. And for a children's game, I think it gets hard a little too fast. Now, this is a get the high score. I don't think the levels actually really ever end. And try to get to the highest score. I lost at level 4. I know, I suck at games. I don't play them that often. Anyway, I think that this is okay. It's kind of weird, but it's still sort of related to cars, but not that great. I give this a 6 out of 10. Better than the last one, but still not cars and racing. Now, game 3, which I think is actually supposed to be the first game, is the best out of all of them, but it's still not that great. But we finally get a racing game, but it's still not a racing game because you have Dickhead number 5, the orange little muscle car, that drives through the road trying to outrun the police. Now, every time you hit a car, you get a little star, and if you get 5 stars, you get caught by the police. I think you run out of gas, maybe your engine explodes. I don't know. Anyway, while you're driving, your dickhead friends will try to run into you and crash you. And every once in a while, you get speed boost. Now, this game is definitely somewhat addictive, and it's another get the high score. Every level gets a little harder. Yay, but worse than Pac-Man. Anyway, so, as you're playing this, it is okay. But the thing is, nothing changes. After a while, everything just looks the same. They change the car and the scenery every once in a while. But it's like, oh, this looks fine. Overall, this game is not much better. It's definitely the best, but just because it's the golden turd out of all turds doesn't make it not a turd. This game is a 7 out of 10. So there are all the games. Overall, none of them are terribly bad, but they're still bad. I would not recommend playing this for anyone. This game is the definition of bad. It's just like, oh, popular DS, popular cars, let's smash them together and do a shitty game to make lots of money. This thing feels really dumb. Like they just kind of half-assed it to make ends meet, to make some money. And I'm sure that Disney is making bank off of this when they still made it, but nevertheless, this thing sucks and I would not wish it on my worst enemy. It's still not terrible, but it's not that great. So unless you have a weird Disney fetish and want to collect all of the little DS games, do not buy this. It's really not that great. And there's much better Cars games, although I don't know how much better those are either, considering one of those is on the list too. This game sucks. 4 out of 10. I need a drink. Congratulations, you, the viewer. You have officially caused the world to be full of pollution and trash. Congratulations. You've all heard of WALL-E, right? It's a movie where a robot gets a hard-on for another robot and a bunch of fat idiots dream about being back on Earth and a robot tries to kill them all. It's a great children's movie. You play as a robot that looks like a Microsoft Cube, making trash into cubes to let them burn it in hell. WALL-E has depression because he is the only thing left on Earth besides bugs. In this game, you go through a lot of different crap, and I can tell you, because I didn't play this game, my editor did. And, you know, he said it was pretty bad, at least from what it seems, or actually he thinks it's pretty good. I don't know, his script is really vague. Anyway, I give this about a 8 out of 10. Let's just move on to the next game. So let's talk about knockoff Cars, which is weird because it's made from Disney, the same company that made Cars, but this is just inherently worse. It's Planes, but for 3DS. So, you know, it's guaranteed to be even worse. Basically, unlike some other games, this one actually sticks close to its story, which I really like, because this thing has something called actual racing in it. You really race. Now, it's kind of crappy racing, because you have to go, it's not just racing. You have to, like, go through these hoops and stuff, and the controls aren't very good. They're very loose. It's a 3DS game. What are you expecting? The controls aren't great. It controls okay, and it's overall a okay experience. Now, this might be nostalgia talking, because I played this as a kid, but I kind of like it. It's something I could come back to every little while and play again, but it's nothing great. And I think, again, for like a road trip or a kid or something, this would be great. But overall, it's nothing special. The story sticks pretty close to the actual thing, added some stuff. That's like the fun part. The story's the good part, because you get to do racing and stuff. It is kind of cool to do some of the other challenges, like see how many balloons you can get and do all this other stuff and all the other weird little thingies. But, you know, overall, it's not bad. It's okay. It's really not something that I would want to play very often, but it's something that I could sit down and play every once in a while. And the graphics actually look fairly okay. I really do kind of like flying around. There's so not that many characters to choose from, but the ones that are pretty cool, you know, you got like France dude and the other Spanish dude and the other ones. Anyway, so this game is weird because it's a mixture of story and minigames, because you've got some minigames like balloons and like do different obstacle courses, and then you've got story mode where you have to do some training, and then you have to do, you know, races, but the races aren't just get to the finish, you have to go through these hoops. It's very weird. This game is kind of like, I don't know what I want to be midlife crisis time, because I mean that's what the movie is basically, but either way, this game doesn't know what it wants to be half the time. And now there's a lot of stuff in this game that I can almost go into in its own video, but to give you a characteristic, basically the actual, yeah, it's just stuff like challenge mode and stuff where you have to do different challenges, and it's just, there's a lot in this game. It definitely does not feel as lazy as Cars. It feels like somebody spent some time on this trying to make this fun, because they probably just racing through the sky game would probably be boring. So I can see that they tried with this, and that definitely makes it some of the better games that are on this list. So overall, I am actually going to give it a 7 out of 10, which I know is the same as the Toy Story, but if there's like difference in 7s out of 10, this is a higher 7 out of 10. I give this actually like a 7.5, I guess, because it's nothing terrible, it's not laughably bad, it's not the best game in the world, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it, and it's utilizes stuff fairly well, and it's overall, it's not bad. If you want to play a Disney game and you want it to be on 3DS, I would recommend this one. Anyway, so, you know, that's the thing. Moving on to the next one. This one will get some respect. Now it's 2011, and what does Disney do? They make Working at Disneyland the game. This game released on the 7th generation of consoles and Windows, and had DLC, unless you're on Wii. In that case, you suck. To prove how much it sucked, we have the Wii version right here. See? Wii. It's definitely not for the Wii U. Now this game takes place in many different worlds, but for some reason they're all Pixar's. I thought this was a game about Disney, not Pixar. It should be named Pixar Universe, but whatever. Anyway, and the Wii version is even worse because it only has one face for all 4 players, but hey, you know, at least Mickey Mouse isn't in it. In my opinion, this game is way too easy and tells you exactly what to do, how to do it. This game is way too easy, and that's the end of the story. Moving on. So, Toy Story. You know, the movie where all the weird animals, toys, whatever the hell they're called, come to life because of drugs or something, right? Well, they also made a game out of it. And it's nothing great, nothing bad, it's kind of mediocre. I mean, after some of the stuff we've talked about in this video, this is honestly gold compared to most of it. But anyway, let's just talk about the games. There's basically 3-4-ish different versions. There's like free play, there's story mode, and then there's the online shit. I'm not talking about the online shit. That's an entire whole video that my friend Shane, also the editor, thumbnail, mostly writer, basically half own of this channel, will make a video about it at some point down the road. But I'm here to talk about shitty DS games, and this is sort of one of them. Let's just talk about the first one, which is basically, if you've ever played in school those monkey games where you have to like shoot the things and not let them get to the end of the trail, yeah, basically that's what that is. And that one is probably the best out of everything in this game. That one is actually fairly good, and I kind of like it. It's actually one that I could see myself playing again. So the basic thing is you get gold bars, right? Because it's the Wild West gold, you know, you get it. This thing actually, I want to say that this game, the first one, ties very nicely into the actual story and theme of Toy Story, compared to some other games that we will not be bringing up. Now, there's different maps and stuff. From what I can tell, I don't think they do anything different between maps. Anyway. So basically, you have these little toys, right? And you have to stop them by shooting plungers and other different toy-made things because they're not weapons. It's Disney and, Nintendo. There cannot be any weapons. It's all plumbers, and not plumbers. It's all plungers and stuff like that. Anyway, so you buy the base things with the gold and money that you get, right? And then you get big gold bars, and you can use those to upgrade the weapons. Not weapons, sorry, I just called them weapons. Oh shit, they're gonna come into my house now. Anyway, so you use them to upgrade the not weapons and make them stronger. And I will say it is very short. I think it's only like 12 levels, or not 12 levels. I think it's only like 12 stages, and it gets hard at a decent level. The end stage isn't very hard. Maybe for a kid it would be harder. Like I said, this is made for kids, so maybe it'll be a lot harder for them. But it's very short. I wish it was longer. And once you've played it once, you've kind of played it all, because like I said, it's a very simple game, but I think maybe getting new maps would keep it fresh. It's not nothing special, but it's not that bad. I definitely don't think it's the worst thing, and I definitely think it's okay. I am going to give it a 8 out of 10. Now let's talk about the boring part of this game, the story mode, which is overall extraordinarily boring. I don't like it very much, as you can tell. Now, the reason is nothing is consistent. Everything changes. Like, even the controls change. Like, the first level, which I think is supposed to be the tutorial, how you jump, you use the stylus, and it's also very laggy, which means basically you have to, like, press up, like, a good 10 seconds before you actually get the jump, or else you just walk in place, and it's like, it's hard because of how bad the game runs, not because of how the game works. And the thing is, the first level has you jump with the stylus and different things, and then the next level completely changes it. It's like, why is there no consistency in the controls? Why are the controls not the same for every level? Makes no sense. Now, I only got to level 2, and even halfway through that, because I got very bored, because it doesn't leave any mystery. It tells you exactly what to do. Walk to the little checkmark thingy, and it tells you how to do everything. It's like, I get it. It's for kids. This game would probably be fun in a road trip for kids, but this game gets very boring, very fast, and is honestly not worth talking about. Now, how you play is you go through missions and missions, solving missions and missions. So there's the big level, and then there's smaller levels, and the big level you have to complete. And when you do that, you move on to the next level. Now, I will say the story ties in nicely with the actual story of Toy Story. That's one thing I can say about this game. It keeps close to the story and the original material. Overall, though, this game is boring and not worth my time, and I give it a 5 out of 10. Overall thoughts on this. The first game is the only reason to get this. If you want to play a cool, kind of unique monkey version game thing, I would definitely recommend getting it. And again, if you're a weird Disney freak, nothing special, just you're gonna buy it anyway. But it's not that bad. It's definitely better than some other games, but nothing too special. I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. Moving on. Anyway, I've officially finished all the scripts, which means I'm done. Thank God, I'm gonna take a walk. It's nice to finally be done. This video about killed me. No, there can't be. No, it can't be. No. You remember when Disney made good Mickey Mouse games? Yeah, me neither. In 2012, this piece of shit was released into the world, and it was a launch title for the Wii U, which means it's gonna be great, right? In 2012, Disney Interactive got a new CEO, or two if you want to be specific, and a loser. But, whatever. Anyway, because of their intentions to transition to mobile games, they rushed out some shitty Wii exclusive games and then created a shitty game. You know it. You love it. It's a shitty game. It's a shitty console. This game was very rushed and has no real story. And, nothing fixes that. Trust me, I tried. Now, the Wii U version of this game, which if you can't tell is the one I have, uses the gamepad, which you think is great. And it is kind of great, because when you can't figure out what the hell is going on, you can at least look on 2 different screens. But what's not great about this game is that if you're doing 2-player, the first player has to just use the touchscreen, which is awesome, because the gamepad is just great. I mean, the whole system is just wonderful. And this game includes false advertising. just a whole bunch of it. And honestly, it's just not that good. Disney basically gave you the middle finger. Now, kind of a nice feature about this game is you get to choose how the ending ends by playing different parts of the game. It's kind of like those choose your own adventure books, but worse. Now, the downside to this is game is very slow on Wii U and is really laggy to the point it's almost impossible to play. But you know, it is on the Wii U, what do you expect? The Wii U version got some of the worst ratings for this game possible. The consoles have much better ratings. So if you're wondering why we bought this one, because this is shitty Disney games, not good Disney games. And what's funny though, is the Vita got a worse rating. I think it's safe to determine that these games were pretty bad. Not the worst things ever, but not that great. And I don't think they deserve to exist anymore, so let's have some fun. This is just more fun for me. I deserve this after having to reveal all these things. This took months of work. So, you know, we're gonna destroy them. And even if they didn't make it into the video, they're just as bad, so they deserve it too. That microphone. Alright, here we'll go somewhere else. Anyway, I seriously just want to thank you all for it's somewhat good year, I guess. And I surely hope you enjoyed this video. There is a behind the scenes / bloopers video, which there is a lot of, in the description down below, which you should go watch. And I need to give a big thanks to Shane, who edits a lot of this stuff, does a lot of thumbnails, comes up with most of the ideas. In fact, he came up with this idea and wrote a lot of the scripts for this video. So whatever I can find will be linked down below. His channel and Twitter will be linked down below. Please go follow and subscribe to him. And I need to give you a big thanks. And until next time, I'll just see you on the next one. Bye, losers.